Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well and hope you're all looking forward to a festive Christmas with family or wherever you're going to be. Hope you guys are looking forward to it. Now this video is going to be quite exciting because I want to talk about the races that I'm planning on doing next year. Something for you guys to look forward to as well and kind of understand more about where I'm going and what the journey is going to entail, and exciting for me to talk about it because it gives me motivation as well. So hopefully it's a really interesting video for you guys. And let's get into it. Before I go any further though, please do take the time right now to click the like button below, subscribe if you haven't done already, and also put on the bell icon so you don't miss out on any future content that I put out. Just give me a little Christmas present. That's your Christmas present to me, is clicking that subscribe button. So just do it, yeah. Right, let's talk about racing. Next year, I guess it's still a little bit up in the air, because COVID. The chances are of another variant. I mean, who knows? It's yeah. Fingers crossed we get some sort of racing, and I'm sure we will, because this year, with all the guidelines and restrictions, it still worked out pretty well. So fingers crossed we get something similar next year. But who knows? Like, the world is a bit up in the air at the minute, and no one really seems to be knowing what's going on. So I mean, this could happen, this could not happen. Who actually knows? My plan for next season is to actually split my whole season into 2 separate seasons and have a mid-season break. There's a few reasons why I'm doing that. The main reason is races in triathlon seem to be starting earlier and earlier and earlier and continuing later and later and later into the year. So you get a massive, like this, the triathlon season is huge now. I mean, you've got races like 70.3 Lanzarote is in March. That's so early. And then you've got races going on into, towards the end of October. That's a massive season. And if I'm totally honest, I think trying to stay fit for that whole season isn't really possible. And if you do try and stay at peak fitness for the whole season, you're going to end up getting ill, going to end up getting injured, going to end up falling out of love with the sport. You're just going to overtrain and just feel terrible. So what I'm thinking of, and also a lot of the time, if I've had a really long season, I get to September and I'm like, I just want a break. Like, I can't be bothered anymore. And that's not where you want to be going into a race. Like, you want to be fired up and ready for it. So that's why I'm splitting my season into 2 seasons. I'm going to have a chunk of racing, and then I'm going to have, let's say, a week and a half of doing pretty much nothing, just chilling out, maybe doing some light activity, but no structured training as such. And then I'm going to have another block of racing. I think mentally and physically, that's going to be the best way to work it. And right now, I'm not 100% sure what the races will look like later on in the year, purely because Ironman haven't released the pro calendar for after. I think they've released it up until July. They haven't released anything after that. So anything after that's a little bit up in the air with what's going to be a pro race and what's not. Now, some of you watching this might not quite understand that, but a lot of 70.3s don't actually have a pro field, and it's kind of frustrating, and kind of guessing which ones are going to be a pro field and kind of waiting for Ironman to release it. And one of the actually biggest gripes for me is that there's no pro 70.3 in the UK anymore. And I just don't understand it. Like, there used to be a really good pro triathlon scene in the UK for the 70.3 distance, because there was Staffordshire, there was Weymouth, there was Edinburgh at one point. So you had 3 really good 70.3s pro fields in the UK, and it was a really good atmosphere. It was really cool. Now there's none of that. Those races still exist apart from Edinburgh, but there's no pro field, which is really annoying, because as a British pro athlete, you've got to then go abroad. It's more time, it's more money, it's all of this. And actually, training in the UK, you kind of want to race in the UK as well. You want to race where you're training, and you want to, I don't know, like, I feel like Ironman should be putting on pro fields in the UK, and I know it's not necessarily, people don't necessarily think of coming to the UK to race, but I think it would be great for British pro athletes, because, let's look at this. Right now, we've got Staffordshire is still a race, Weymouth is still a race, Swansea has just been released as a race. Got 70.3 Cork as well, and 70.3 Bolton. So you've got 5 70.3s in the UK. None of them have a pro field, which is just, it seems ridiculous to me. At least 1 or 2 of them should have a pro field. So yeah, anyway, that's just a little rant from me. It's frustrating, but there you go. It is what it is. So after that rant, let's actually move on to what I'm actually going to be doing. My first race of the season, I want to be doing 70.3 Mallorca. There's a number of reasons for that, and that's in May, so I've got a good amount of time between now and then. Some people might be saying, oh, you should be doing Lanzarote in March. For me, that's a little bit too early, and I'm still a little bit put off by the course because it was so savage in October. I would love to go back and do it again, but I think March, personally, I think is a bit too early for racing, and I think May is a better time to start your race season. So that's what I'm going to be doing, 70.3 Mallorca. Reasons why is, number one, I've always wanted to race there. I've done a few training camps there, absolutely love it, and I think the course would be really good. Number two, it's on the same day as the World Champs in St. George. So tactically speaking, it's probably be a good idea because all of the guys that have qualified for the World Champs won't be there because they'll be in America. Now, that does sound very tactical of me, and it is, but that's not to guarantee that there'll be no one at Mallorca, because there'll be plenty of amazing guys that haven't qualified for the World Champs that will probably be at Mallorca. So it's still going to be a very tough field. It's still going to be a very hardcore race. And yeah, I think that's going to be the opening to my season. Maybe do a few low-key events in the UK just to kind of warm myself up before Mallorca, but that's going to be my first race of the season. Now, after that, I'd quite like to do 70.3 Marbella. Now, this is a similar reason to Mallorca, actually. It's on the same day as the European Champs. So again, all of the guys who qualified for the European Champs won't be there. But like I said, with Mallorca, it's not going to mean that no one's going to be there and it's just plain sailing. All of the guys that won't have qualified for the European Champs will probably be at Marbella. So it's still going to be a stacked field. It's still going to be competitive. And that's what I want. I want to race those guys. But I also, as a rookie pro, you have to kind of balance it out. And so what I want is a few races where I'm racing some of the best in the world and see where I'm at and see what I need to improve on. But then also have a few races where I'm cherry picking a little bit so that I can bag some good results, potentially some prize money, potentially some more recognition in the sport, keep my pro license again, So you do need to be a little bit tactical, and I don't want people thinking that I'm just cherry picking everything, because I'm not. I do want to go to these races where there are going to be some stacked guys there and some stacked fields, but it does have to be said that as a rookie pro, you do have to be a little bit kind of, okay, I'll go to that because there's less people, but then I'll also do that because there's more people, and have a mix of all of it. I think is going to be quite a healthy season. Then next up, I'm thinking I want to race 70.3 Les Stables, something French. But it looks like a good course. It looks like an honest course, and that's a race that's been kind of on my radar for a number of years now, and I've always kind of wanted to do it. So that's going to be another race that I'm kind of keen on doing. Now, within this season as well, I want to scatter it with a few other races that aren't Ironman branded. So I might actually look at a few challenge races. This kind of race calendar that I'm going through now is very provisional. It's not the final edition by any means. There might be a few changes based on that, but I just want to chat about kind of some ideas that I'm having and some reasonings behind that. And I do, of course, want to race a number of the outlaw races as well. Reason being is they're bloody good races. They're really well organised. They're always really helpful. They're always really friendly. The courses are great. I have nothing bad to say about outlaw races. They're always amazing. So I'm keen to do a few of those as well. So like Nottingham always brings in some really good guys as well. So that's going to be quite a competitive race. I'd like to do Nottingham. Holcomb's always good fun. Obviously had a bit of a controversial time there this year. Not at the race, but after the race. Let's not dive too much into that. And then I should probably go back to Bowood, and because I don't really have an excuse not to. It's literally just down the road from my parents' house, and I should probably try and defend the title as best I can. But I do want to definitely focus on mixing the season up as best I can, doing a lot of different things. Now that, or a majority of that, is kind of my first season. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm having 2 kind of separate seasons. A lot of that will be pushed into my first season. So like kind of like quite a big chunk of racing. And then I'm going to have, like I said, a mid-season break. And then I'm going to have the later half of the season as another block of races. And I'm not 100% sure yet, because Ironman haven't released the pro races yet. I don't know what's going to be a pro race and what's not going to be a pro race. Like I said, I would love some 70.3 pro racing in the UK, but I doubt that's going to happen. So it's up in the air at the minute. However, I do have a plan. I want to do Ironman Wales, but if it's a pro race, obviously. So if it's just an age group race, it's sold out and I won't be able to race it anyway. But if there is a pro race at Wales, I will be there. A lot of you might be thinking, Harry, what the hell are you doing? Well, I don't even know, to be honest, half of the time. But there is a number of reasons. Now, I know I mentioned in a video a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, can't remember when it was, that I wanted to do a full Ironman. And I had quite mixed opinions from different people based on whether I should do it, whether I shouldn't do it, whether I'm too young for it. You know, people saying you're only 24, wait another couple of years. And I appreciate all of the people with that opinion. I really do. However, I just want to do it. And I think I would thrive at that distance. And it's something that I'm just excited about trying and excited about testing. And I want to do something that's really going to push me out of my comfort zone. And so that's one of the reasons why I want to do Ironman Wales. Number 2 is it's a very iconic race. So as the first Ironman, why not do one of the most iconic ones? You know, you think of Ironman, obviously you think of Kona, you think of Lanzarote. A lot of people might think of Wales because the Tenby Ironman is one of the most iconic ones out there. Number 3, it's in the UK, so it's going to be, like, logistically, it's going to be a lot easier than going somewhere abroad. Number 4, it's at the end of the season, which is perfect for me because I want to have a really nice, strong 70.3 focus, especially in that first kind of season that I'm talking about. Have my mid-season break, then do a few more 70.3s and kind of gear up more towards an Ironman build towards Wales. And I think that'll be a really healthy way of doing it because then I've banked all of the racing and all of the training that I've done for those 70.3s, and then I'm going to be in a really good position for that Ironman at the end of the year. So that's one other thing that I'm thinking about. Number 5 is it's quite close to Kona, so you probably won't get some big hitters there that are going to Kona. Obviously, you still get some really good athletes, but you probably won't get some of like the best guys coming, which would be really cool. Number 6, I think the course will really suit me. It's a challenging course, right? From what I've heard. I've ridden the bike course, haven't done the run, haven't done the swim, but it's a challenging course in the UK conditions. That's the stuff that I thrive on. That is what I want. Hilly courses in the UK that are just hard work. That's what I love, and that's why I love racing in the UK, because more often than not, it's going to rain, and it's going to be windy and horrible, and it's brutal, and it becomes more of a mental game than anything else, and that's what I want. Like, I love that kind of stuff. And so those are kind of the reasons why I want to do Ironman Wales at the end of the year. Like I said, only if it's a pro race. So obviously, yeah, Ironman haven't put the pro criteria for the rest of the year. So fingers crossed, Ironman Wales is on that list. If it's not, I will be looking at doing a different Ironman at the end of the year. I'm not too sure which one I would do. I've kind of almost like, I've not put all my eggs in one basket, but I just really want it to be Wales because I think it would be really cool. Let me know what you think of my ideas for racing in the comments section below. If you have anything that you'd really recommend doing, leave that in the comments section below as well. Hope everyone's looking forward to having a really, really good Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.